Hey guys, girls, YouTubers, whatever you call yourself, I don't know. Today we're going to be working on my 66 C10, which actually I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos on this because there's a bunch of stuff that I want to do to it. So kind of walk you around it for now and I guess tell you about it and how I got it. This actually was owned by my dad. My dad got this out of northern Missouri. He had his eye on it for quite a while. He ended up pulling it out of like a valley. And I believe at the time it was baby blue. It didn't have a box on it. I think it was missing bumpers. I know he replaced the fenders, or fiberglass fenders, the rocker panels, cab corners. He did a bunch of metal work. I think probably even the floor pans have been replaced. Bunch of stuff. I think it originally had a straight 6 in it, probably a 3 on the tree, which is pretty common for these trucks. Originally, after he had it restored, it was painted gray. It had a step side box on it. This is a long box, but it had a long box step side on it, which actually I prefer the step side long box, but then ended up trading that for a fleet side box, which he wanted. And at that time, it was painted blue. It's done in the 90s. As you can tell. Eventually I would like that to go away. I'd actually like to paint it gray again myself, but when that would happen, I have no idea. And if I would do it, I would do it myself, and it would be a pretty shady job, which maybe you'll see it one day. Who knows? We'll see how far we get. But he had it for, I don't know, my whole childhood for sure, and then I inherited it about 8 years ago, something like that. And I did a 5-lug conversion on the front to start. I got a whole K member out of, I want to say it was like a 79 heavy half actually. A guy that was restoring, he had like a whole custom frame, big money in his, so he had this K member laying around, which actually had the power steering box, all the steering components, obviously the spindles, the calipers, and I used a majority of it. I think the only thing I bought for it was rotors and pads. I think that's the only thing I put on it that it didn't have. But I actually, this has steering from a newer Chevy pickup truck, which works great. I thought about doing like a rack and pinion, but honestly this works so good, and for what I'll do with it, it's never going to go on the track. It's just going to be a driver, daily driver, but I want it to look nice. Eventually at some point we'll do tubular A-arms and lower control arms and stuff like that, because my plan at this point is to drop it 2 inches. So get her sat down a little bit, because right now looks like a donk with these 22-inch Twinkies on it. But so for now, right now, I think it started out with a 283 small block, which I think actually was a good runner motor. And then he put a 350 in it, which never ran right. I think years later, he ended up going to rebuild that motor for something else and found that the heads were cracked. So that's why it never ran right in the first place. But he ended up trading a truck, I believe, for this big block, 454, and has this thing just stuffed in here. So actually, here, the exhaust manifold is actually rubbing on the frame, so that needs to be a little clearancing there. I've been actually looking for a 6-liter LS motor, or maybe even a 6.2. I've even tried or was looking at buying like smashed up vehicles on whatever that auction site is called. I can't remember. There's an auction actually right outside of town here. They sell smashed up vehicles, and there was a Cadillac CTS with an LSA in it, and I was trying to get that hard. That would probably be my dream motor to put in this thing, would be an LSA. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. You think I'd put a 6-liter LS in this, or just keep the big block? I do have a big block intake that I got from a guy that couldn't get it to fit on his small block Chevy. So we'll see if it'll fit on my big block Chevy. But that'll be better at least than this. That's still just a Chinesium intake, so it's nothing special. But otherwise the motor is pretty much stock. It's got a 650 vacuum secondary carb on it, which now it pops and cracks and bangs and everything else. I know for sure the carb is leaking a little bit. You can see it's leaking here. I've rebuilt this a couple times, so I don't know where it's leaking from. I honestly have not taken that much time to try to figure it out, mainly because I'm lazy, I guess they would call it. And I have other vehicles that I can drive, so I don't take the time to drive this one. And actually this sat in my pull shed for the last year, just sitting in dirt, which is pretty sad. So I'm glad that this winter I'm actually getting it out and trying to do stuff with it. And the other reason I don't drive it is because I'm embarrassed to drive it, because one of the last times I drove it, somebody didn't close the hood tight enough, and when it was going down the road it kind of did one of those and just completely ruined this whole structure here. So I got another hood, not a good hood, but another hood. So my plan is to take this hood off, take the structure out of that hood, take the structure from that hood, put it in this hood, and then put it back on. I've already got new hinges and everything for this, so we'll see if that works. What? That's Odin. He's not a shop cat, but he is a shop cat. But he lives in the house. But he comes out in the shop. And he's annoying. And clingy. And you're not a dog, so get out. Go find something else. Go find some Mises. So what our plan is now, what my plan is now, is I got some C-notches that I picked up super cheap. I don't understand how they can sell them that cheap, because I think I paid like 20 or 25 bucks for these shipped, and I don't think I could buy the steel for that. So these gotta go here somehow. So that's kind of where we're gonna start with this, because what I want to do is put a 4-link in this. But in order to put a 4-link in this, I need to get rid of everything else that's here. When I did this Willwood disc brake conversion in the back, I put a spool in the rear, which needs to come out, because that thing, it clunks. It makes a lot of noise. It's something in there is not right. So eventually I'd like to put like a nice limited slip in there. Honestly, what I would like to do, and what I should have done in the first place, was get like a Fab 9-inch or something. But now that I got the Willwood disc brake kit and everything else on here, I'm already just, it's fine. It's a 12 bolt, they're strong. Again, I'm not going to be drag racing this thing or anything else, so it'll hold up just fine. But also, I'd like to get rid of this 2-piece drive shaft, because some of the noise might be coming from here. I don't think that should do that. There shouldn't be any play in there. So we'll get rid of that. This exhaust, Odin, get out of here, dude. This exhaust has got to go, which is going to break my dad's heart, because he'd put it in and it's double wall, but it's too small. It's 2 1/4. Dude, it's 3-inch or better. 3 or up. But this, when I put the 4-link in, it's just all going to be in the way. So we'll probably just put some ground pounders on it. We'll just turn them down, maybe out a little bit, down and back, and then we'll just let her pound on the ground, earthquake the place. But the main goal, I guess for now, or for this video anyway, is going to be getting everything out of the way. Just getting everything out, getting that fuel cell out of here. I've already almost burnt this garage down once because I cleaned the carb on my kid's four-wheeler. Well, I don't have kids. It was a kid's four-wheeler. It was a child's four-wheeler that I cleaned the carb on. And then when I put it all back together, I arced the solenoid with the screwdriver because the start button didn't work, and flames. So I had to push that out of my garage, put my garage out, and then go put my four-wheeler out, which my in-laws were here with their brand new Tesla, and I don't know how they didn't see that thing burning beside their car, but it wasn't good, I'll tell you what. This guy is just clingy. God, go somewhere else. I don't know, but so we'll have to get that exhaust out of there. Like I said, that's double wall tubing, and it's too small. My dad's gonna get mad at me for taking that out because he probably spent a pretty penny on that, but he can have it back. I'll give it back to him. He can put it on his four-wheeler or something. I don't know, but we'll get that out of here. I'm gonna show you the interior of this thing. It's not that special. But I remember when my dad actually was building this, I used to sleep in the cab here when it had a bench seat. I used to sleep on the bench seat when it was in here when they were working on it. Got the big man tack up there. We'll see if we can get her to hit 10. I don't know. I've only had it up to about 6. And then it was making some weird noises and stuff. They say you can check the mileage by the pedals, but because this has been sitting in my garage for the last year or so, pretty sure the mice just ate all that off. Oh, I'd like to get rid of this. When my dad did the fuel cell in the back, which is good, I like that back there. Pretty sure this is like a shower cap from when he worked at a mobile home, when he built mobile homes. And I'd like to get rid of this and put actually shave that down. In or out, pick one. Okay, out. Get the mice. I'm pretty sure there's mice in there. Why don't you find them? Go in there and find those mice. Get the mice out of there. So that's where we'll start. Start with, like I said, we're going to have to probably grind or get my air chisel and get all these rivets off of here. Get them out of here. Pull the wheels off, obviously. Get the exhaust out. I want to try to leave... Come on, dude. I want to try to leave the rear end in it as long as I can. So when I start to do the 4-link, I kind of already have... The pinion angle, I would assume, is not going to change much, honestly. So I might just try to leave the pinion angle the way it is, and I might try to honestly just... I want to lower it 2 inches for sure, so I might try to just take a measurement where the axle is once I get the C-notches in here, and then just lower it 2 inches, and then try to build everything just with it all. Almost, I probably won't be able to do it with it all in there, but you get the idea. Try to get some measurements and all the stuff with it already in there so I don't have to try to do some mathematicals and all that other garbage. But that's kind of where it sits at this moment. Yeah. We'll go from there. I'll set up, probably do a little time lapse or something and just go from there. So I got this all jacked up now. My plan is hopefully I can just take one of these bungs off of here and drain it into my gas can without getting it everywhere. But first, to get yourself a creeper, nice creeper sat down, something to lay on so you're not laying on the ground. Come on now. There, beautiful. If you don't got yourself a creeper like that, find yourself one. Sell them cheap. A cardboard box works well too. That's what I've been using for quite a while. So we'll see how this works. Don't forget my crescent wrench. Ouch! Exhaust. These are all this way. This ain't gonna work. Is it? If I flip this, oh, look at that, it's leaking already. What the hell? Alright, that ain't gonna work. Gonna have to get a smaller one. So, yeah. All right. Got one of these little red cans that have that stupid cover. I'd like to find the guy. I decided we need all them stupid safety things. Just have a nice conversation with them. Because they're terrible. Other way. All right. Oh, turbo blue. Oh, yeah. Oh, there she goes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep, yep. Huh. The angulation of that was not good. Hopefully there's not more than 2 gallons in this thing. Got gas everywhere already. Hopefully my fire extinguisher's handy. Got gas all over my GoPro. I don't know if this is getting full or what the deal is. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. This might be full. Oh yeah, I don't know. This ain't all gonna fit. Looks pretty clear. Wonder if there's any water in there. Uh-oh, she's full. Oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, this isn't good. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now what do I do? Now what's the guy do now? Shit. Oh, there it went. I think. No, it didn't. I'm getting dirt in my eyes too. Alright, now she went. Okay. Great. We'll have to do that again. So that'll be fun. Alright, I had to switch out gas cans because somebody must have filled this thing up with fuel. I don't know. Somebody snuck into my house, stole my truck, and put gas in it. This is weird. This doesn't make any sense. Why there would be more than 2 gallons of gas in this thing. Oh, shit. Again. I mean, crap. Oh, man. Oh, what? Come on. Oh. All right. I thought this thing was like empty. Sounds empty. Wow. Diff cover looks nice. I don't know how there's mud all the way up it though. No way is there 5 gallons of gas in there. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. There's no way there's that much gas in there. I think I ran out of gas twice with this thing. Fuel gauge obviously doesn't work. Oh, come on. Oh boy. No way. Oh no. It's full again. Oh, shit. I mean, crap. Oh, come on. Really? How can there be more than 5 gallons of gas in this tank? I've never put more than 5 gallons in anything. Oh, do I start way out here this time? We'll give her a shot. Oh. Oh, close. Close. Oh, no. Really? I should probably crack the gas cap or a vent up there. Should be vented already. But I guarantee when I open that vent, that thing's just gonna spool everywhere. Guaranteed. No? Oh. Nice. All right. All right, now I guess get rid of that. Put this back on. I don't think I have another cap, so this thing's just gonna leak forever. Maybe I should pull these bolts out first, and then I can set it up. Yeah, I'll take these mounts out, pull the whole tank, and then I'll take that one off once I have this fuel cell loose, so I can just tip it up so it's not just dripping all the time. Zip. Zip. Alright, now that should just tip right up for me. It's probably a bunch of fuel in the line that's gonna backfeed. Nope. Alright. Set that over there for now. Why was that? Okay. Probably should have like a rubber mat in here. I don't think it's good to have aluminum on steel. Corrodes it. So when I put this back together, I'll probably put like a piece of that floor mat or something in there, just so they don't do any molecular corrosion rust things. All right, I'll get these wheels off here quick. What in the... Apparently I got one fancy wheel lock on here, which I didn't realize I had. And that one's, I took off already. Stupid. See if I can find my fancy lug nut socket. Lo and behold, I found that fancy thing. Well, I shouldn't have said that, because actually this does not fit on there. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, back in business, sorry. I do not remember having those stupid lock nut bolt, those fancy wheel lock things on there. That's not something I would normally put on anything. But maybe I got them when I got the rims, tires. Like I said, I did put a Willwood disc brake kit on this probably 6 years ago already. I don't even know how long ago. Pretty easy, honestly. Went well. Works well. The only thing I'd like to do now is replace these lines with something a little shorter, because on the other side, it was too long, so I had to do some fancy brake line work here, which looks terrible. So I want to get rid of that so I can just get rid of it so it doesn't look like crap. So now I'm going to work on getting rid of this drive shaft. There's obviously the cap bolts or whatever that hold the drive shaft on there. And then I'll have to take these two bolts off to release this center carrier bearing thing or whatever it is. And then hopefully when I pull the drive shaft out of the trans, it doesn't just leak fluid all over the place, but we'll see what happens when we get that far. So first we'll take these off. I got a 1/2 inch. These just have like a 1/2 inch nuts on the back of these caps. They come out pretty easily. Oh yeah, just smash that on that exhaust. Okay, those are off. This might come off of here right now. I'm not sure. No, we're gonna have to loosen up these 2 bolts first in order to get that to move. I think that's just a 9/16. Actually, just loosening this up, it might let me slide that in a little bit. Maybe I'll take this one out. Like I said, I'm going to get rid of this whole 2-piece drive shaft. I'm not a big fan of a 2-piece drive shaft. I'd rather just have one shaft that goes all the way through. I don't know how that's going to affect my pinion angle. We'll have to see once we get that far. But for now, we just get rid of it. Come on. Wow, that's nice. Okay. Well, how does that work? That's all torn there, you can see. It's probably been junk. Rotates nice. We'll get a hammer and get your best body hammer here. Tap on these caps. And then it'll come right loose. Oh no, don't come off there. Take your body hammer, hit the other one too. There we go. Oh, come on. Don't want them to fall off, even though I'm not going to reuse them, but take them, grab some tape, tape these up so that these caps don't fall off. Even though, like I said, I'm probably not going to reuse them anyway, but just in case. I do get lazy. Come on. There we go. Once you think it's good, wrap it again. Okay, now that should be able to just pull out now of the trans. Hopefully it doesn't make a mess, but we're going to find out here real quick. I got a bag to put on the end of the transmission, so when I do pull it out, oh no! Oh, my tape's gone. So I do pull this out. Hopefully it doesn't just leak fluid everywhere. Hopefully it doesn't. But most likely it will. You probably can't see anything anyway. Slide nicely, nicely. Oh, look at, oh, it doesn't even spew out. Huh. That's good. Get that thing out of here. I'll still put this on here just because if I don't, somebody on YouTube will put a bunch of nasty comments in, which is fine. Please comment all you can. That'll help me out. Should put some tape on there, but our tape is all the way over there, so I'll do that. later. Probably not. Hey guys, it's a new day. Clean myself up a little bit. Probably the best looking guy on YouTube, honestly. But we're going to continue on this 4-link project here. Yesterday I got all the exhaust out of here, got the drive shaft out, took the shocks off, that kind of thing. If you don't have one of these, get yourself a father-in-law that'll get you one. Really, really handy. They work very, very well for multiple things, honestly. Today, we are going to focus on getting these bump stops out of here. Probably get this wiring pulled back, so when I cut the hole for the C-notch, I don't cut that wiring out. Also this wiring and this fuel line that runs all the way through and down here. Actually, I'll probably end up replacing this fuel line with some fancy braided AN stuff that I acquired from somewhere. Go from there. I'm probably just going to do a time lapse on this because this is just going to be a lot of drilling, banging, air hammer, noise that you're not going to want to hear anyway. And actually my wife is probably not going to be happy with it. She's in there watching the Kardashians or 90 Day Green Card, or I mean fiance or whatever. I don't know, that TLC channel. I tell you what guys, if you got a wife that watches that stuff, I'm here with you. It's hard. It's not great watching those people on there. Oh, I can't find a good man. There's no good men out there. I don't know what's wrong. Well, maybe you being a high maintenance psychopath might have something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, but that's neither here nor there. We're not getting into all that stuff. Getting off course here. Okay, so I'll probably just set up a tripod and start banging some of this stuff out. Like so. Bing bada boom. So what I'm doing here is just drilling the centers out with a bigger bit to get all the way through this rivet, and then taking the air hammer and just knocking them off. It's just easier that way. You can, if you got a good air hammer, you can just knock these rivets off without even drilling them out. But for me, it's easier to drill them out. Top. Should just run these right off. Bada bang, bada boom. Just like so. Alright, so I got the bump stops off, obviously. I was doing a little bit of thinking here to try to figure out where these C-notches are going to go. I believe this plate is supposed to sit underneath here. Therefore, you can use the factory suspension, which I'm not going to be using. We'll be going with a 4-link and a coilover setup. I'd like to try, though, to keep this cross member in here because it's already got tabs on it for shock mounts. So I was hoping to utilize those for my coilovers. The issue I'm running into right now is this has 3 holes in it, and I believe this center hole lines up with the hole for this spring. But when I do that, where the center of my axle is currently, doesn't line up very well. So I know when the axle goes up and down, it swings like a pendulum. So it may come in a little bit, which I don't know how much it's going to come in or how much it won't. So I think what my plan is right now, I think I'm going to support the frame with a bunch of jack stands, and I'm going to get rid of those springs, and I'm probably going to have to take this, whatever you want to call it, bar out to keep the axle from going left back and forth. If I can even get that out. I sprayed it with some PB Blaster already. But I think I'm going to take the springs out and then jack the axle up until it hits the frame, just to see where it lines up. When I don't have a plumb bob, which is weird because normally I have all the oddball tools, but I very crudely took a chalk line and used it as a plumb bob to figure out where the center of my axle is on the frame, just for eyeball stuff up. And when I measure from side to side, that side is a 1/4 inch back, which doesn't seem right to me. But 1/4 inch at this point ain't going to be a big deal for what I'm doing, just to put these in. And honestly, I'm only dropping it 2 inches, so the axle honestly probably will never go inside that C-notch. I honestly could, if I really wanted to, could probably just take 2 inches out of that spring, heat it up or get different springs, and it would be just fine for what I'm doing. But I don't like this setup, so this is where we're at the moment. So I think I'm going to get that, I can't remember what the heck they call it, that bar out that holds the axle center, and then take these springs out and go from there. I have no idea what I'm doing, so don't do what I do, or use what I do to know what not to do at this point. So hopefully I can finagle this down there so I don't have to use a ratchet. Can't believe those came out that easy. Brand new bolts, that's why. No. Alright, now the real test is trying to get this pan hard bar loose. Guaranteed this isn't coming out. What in the... You gotta be kidding me. That is amazing. Grab your best body hammer. Okay, you're gonna need a little something bigger than that, I guess. Unless I can get the other side to... Yeah, right. That's never gonna work. legitimately impressed that that came out. Oh, they are right. Huh. Don't go beating on this stuff unless you know for sure you're not going to use it. I just busted that right off of there. Okay, now that I got the axle pushed all the way up, which I was right, when it came up, it definitely did come in a lot. So now with this lined up here, with that bolt hole, it does actually line up pretty good. So that makes me feel better. So I guess the plan of attack is now to get this lined up. I'm not sure if I want to try to keep this plate under here. I might cut it on the inside here. Cut it all through here. And then once I get that all welded back in there, I can beat this over and then just weld it back on. I think that's gonna be, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So, got to knock out some rivets. I think this bracket on this side, where this panhard bar bracket is, this plate on the back side is going to hang underneath here. So I'd be better off just cutting all that out of there too. This cross member here could probably come out, but I think I'm just going to leave it in there. There's only like 15 rivets that hold the damn thing on, so I'll just get the bottom piece off of it. And then I could start marking some stuff up and start cutting. It's going fairly quickly today, honestly. Surprised for a C-notch kit that's nothing fancy. It's just an eBay special. It's not like a nice QA1 or anything like that that came with instructions. So I'm just out here winging it. All right, so we're gonna cut this out with the plasma, which I don't normally use this, mainly because I'm just not good with it, to be honest with you. But for this, we're gonna give her a go and hope I don't burn any of these, this vent tube and this brake line, because I kind of would like to keep that. So let's give her a go. And I can't see nothing. All right, not bad. Now, this is going to be a tricky one because I can't see a damn thing. Yep. Probably should never lay underneath something you're cutting. Come on. Where are we at even? Oh, I can kind of see a mark. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Ow. That. Right there. Fire watch? Good. Still stuck. Oh, it's because I didn't cut all the way through. I can't see what I'm doing. Let's see if we can pound it out. She gone. Let's fit. Almost like I knew what I was doing, but it doesn't fit. I'm gonna take some out of this corner here. Can't see nothing again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I come up a bunch in the back. Take this corner off. I take a bunch off this back side. That's in. That fits right up tight. Oh, kind of tight. actually got to go back some. Yeah, see this piece that was here, I probably should have left in there because I think it's made to sit on here because when I push this up, it wants, well, I don't know. It's not sitting quite flat, but with a little beating, I think it'll come together just fine. Maybe what I'll do is there's holes in this plate because I think it's actually made to bolt in, but maybe I'll drill these holes and I'll bolt it in so everything's tight, and then I'll go through and I'll clean up and I'll weld all this in. But I'll clean this all up with a grinder and go from there. GoPro, stop recording. All right, so I got one side all fitting in decent. I had to take a little more out of here in the frame in order to get it to sit decent. I did drill the one hole so I could put this one bolt in to get this to sit flat, and that looks a lot better than it did before. So now, more or less, it's just going to be taking this back off, cleaning it up, and welding it in. Eventually, I'd like to box this frame in. And this edge got like a whoop-de-woo. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there quite yet. I think for now I'm just going to leave it, and then maybe eventually I'll cut this down. I don't want to cut this flat because I don't want to be welding on these edges here. But for now, I'll pull that off. I'll show you on the other one. I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to weld these insides here because for whatever reason they didn't. So I'm going to weld all these up so that I know it's welded up nice and tight. And then I'll stick it back in, weld it all up tight, and it should be good. Should be good until we box all that in, so that way it's nice and strong. But honestly, there's no weight back here anyway besides the box, but it'll be alright, honestly, even just the way it is. I mean, not just the way it is, but once I weld it up, it'll be just fine without boxing it in. But I'm going to box it in just because. So, on to welding, I guess. Alright, I got my welder set up. I haven't used this helmet yet, so I don't know how well that's going to turn out. But, and I couldn't clean this up very well because I couldn't get into the groove. So, yeah, we'll just see what happens and give her a go, I guess. Not terrible. Should have my gloves on. Let me turn the shade up. isn't it? That was terrible. Start this vertical weld. I don't know how I got my welder set up properly, but we're going to find out real quick. Not bad. Plug that in a little bit. That looks good. Burn this one in too right away. Butter. Probably should have tacked this in a handful of places before I just started going to town on it, to be honest, but we are where we are now. So speaking of that, I'm going to go to the inside and burn some of these on the inside. That's a big bead. Not too happy with that one, but it'll hold until it doesn't. Whew, that one's kind of ugly too. I am not a welder, so none of these are probably going to look that great. But as long as they hold, that's going to be tricky. Let me try to go over here. was not pretty either. I don't know where I want to go now. Oh, that's going to be tricky. I'm going to throw a couple tacks up here. Let's get a weld up here maybe. Welding on the inside here, I can't get my gun in, so I'm welding with the lead way out, and it's not working. Not working at all. So maybe I'll... Whoa! Burn these in. Throw a couple tacks in here for now. Probably should have ran that one. I'll tack some of these here. Should probably be enough to pull this off. See if I can pull this a little tighter here. Probably not going to happen. I don't know where my C-clamps went. Cool. I'll buzz all this in. Get the bottom. Keep cooking. have a welding glove on. All right. See if I can fill this in a little bit here. So see if I can pull this in. This ain't gonna be near big enough though. Yeah, you know what? Once I weld that in, it'll look good. Oh boy. This is not going to be comfortable one bit. Not bad for not being able to see. You guys might have to move to the side. Okay. I'll do the back. This back side needs to be welded yet. Well, that is not welding for crap. So, get under here. Right. All right, I got one side welded in. Not the greatest. Like I said, I am not a welder. So by any means, if you want to pick me apart in the comments, you go right ahead. Doesn't bother me one bit. I actually have a buddy that welds for a living, and I actually planned on having him weld all this. The only part that I really don't like is I can't get inside this cross member. So now that I'm thinking more about it, I probably will end up just cutting this off, getting rid of this bracket. If I need to later when I box the frame, I can always box that all back in. But even like this stuff in here, I'm not too worried about it because I plan on boxing this all in anyway. So it'll be plenty strong. But for tonight, I think that's about it. I did weld these holes in for a little extra strength, and then I'll grind them down smooth. I'll take the grinder and I'll grind all this smooth, and it'll look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. So for tonight, I think that's good enough. I think I'm just going to knock the other side out. I'm not going to record any of it. You already saw this side. It's going to be no different. We'll go from there. Thanks. Well, I got the other side in. Went fairly smooth, went a lot faster, obviously, because I already knew what I was doing and what I needed to cut out. The only issue I had was this gap here was a little bigger, but I think it's just this part. But I ain't scared. Little gap, little more weld, no big deal. My inside welds didn't go very well, but I've seen worse from better. So, and I'm not really too worried about it. Like I said, I'm going to box all this in anyways. So inside there, it don't really matter. And once I box it in and there's a box on here, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to know except for maybe the 4 people that watch this video. I started grinding and cleaning all this up so that it would look better, but my batteries died, and I'm sure nobody wants to watch a guy grind for 4 hours. I also need to get this mess cleaned up now because I got one hell of a mess going on. I couldn't find anything and I kept laying on stuff. So I think that's going to about do it for this video. I appreciate you watching if you did and made it all the way through. This is my first video, so I'm still learning with the microphones and the editing and all that stuff. So sorry if you heard me breathing the whole time. I tried to adjust the sensitivity on these, and I'm not sure if I made it better or worse. I might try a different style microphone, but bear with me. This is my first video, and hopefully I have many more. Hopefully people start watching. I always think it's cheesy when people say, you know, like and subscribe and comment and blah, 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 but here I am. So if you could do that, great. And I don't really have a name for the channel yet, to be completely honest with you. But when you're watching this, you'll see what the name is. So you'll know when I know, more or less. But that's probably going to be about it for this video. Like I said, I appreciate you watching. I think on the next video, I need to figure out what I'm actually going to do for a 4-link. What I'm actually going to use, if I'm just going to do all custom stuff, or if I'm going to buy a kit. I know there is a kit out there that's fairly cheap, but I don't like that the ends are not a rod end. They're just like a bushing style, which for what I'm going to use this truck for will be just fine. But I just don't care for it. I'd prefer to have like rod ends and be able to adjust it without taking it apart and whatnot. But this is going to sit on coilovers at a static height. I'm not going to put it on bags and adjust it up and down, nothing like that. So I think while I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the 4-link, I think in the next video we'll probably put that intake on because I have it and I have all the parts to do it besides gaskets, which are readily available. Yeah, well, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next one.